Well, have we been recording?
No.
Oh.
But we did record that.
Okay.
Hello guys, welcome to the second episode of the TetraCast RPG Site's monthly podcast. My name is Zack, Reese, I'm the host. Joining us today is, of course, Dave Kreinberg.
Yo.
Simon Chun.
Yo.
And Erren Van Duine.
Hello.
Dying or dying?
Erren Van Duine. Alright, so I want to clear something up that we forgot to do last time on our first podcast. It's a pretty big mistake. We didn't really introduce ourselves, so unless you've been on the site for a while or you've seen us on other channels, you wouldn't know us. So I just want to get that out of the way. So let's just go around and you guys can introduce yourselves, talk about what you do on the site, and I don't know, what you do for hobbies. So Erren, you can go first.
My name is Erren Van Duine. I'm the senior U.S. editor for RPG Site, as well as the editor-in-chief and owner of Nova Crystallis. I guess in terms of hobbies, I obviously like to play video games, watch anime, Japanese culture, reading, writing, and drawing.
All right. That's enough out of you. All right, next, David.
All right. I am David Kreinberg. I'm also an editor on RPG Site. Not as cool as Erren, though. Let's see, hobbies. I also like anime, manga, video games. I like skiing, but I haven't gone in a while because I gained a lot of weight, and then,
maybe you should ski more. Maybe
yeah,
you'll take care of that. Yeah.
Then I'd lose weight.
Ski off the weight.
Okay, get to Simon.
Oh. Fine.
Yeah. My name is Simon. I am the associate editor at RPG Site. I've been there for like a year or so. And my hobbies
yourself.
include
That's good.
my hobbies include building computers, programming, drawing, gaming, watching anime, reading manga. Sort of like these guys, except more on the techie side.
You know, it's actually manga, not manga.
Excuse us.
I'm sorry.
Excuse us.
You want me to say manhwa instead? Because that's essentially what we call it in my country anyway.
No one pays attention to your country. Except lately.
My country makes some of the best tech in the world, dude. Come on, man.
But you said you got... Never mind.
All right.
We'll go into that later.
Well, fine. And my name is Zack Reese. I hate video games. But why did I join this side? I don't know. So I also like anime, because everyone here is otaku. It's great. And I also... Oh, yeah, I didn't even introduce what I do. I'm just the editor. I don't have any fancy other title. I'm no associate. I'm no senior. I'm just an editor. Why do you guys listen to me? I don't know. But I've been here since 2006, because I'm going to date myself as well. I don't know, that's about all I got. So, all right, great. So anyway, let's move it on. Now that we've got the introductions
You're
out of the way.
having a problem there, Zach?
I swallowed my lips. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about a few different topics, but really, now that it's May, we're just 6 weeks away from E3, so we figured we might as well just take the time to talk about the biggest news of the year, which is the next consoles. The WiiU has already been out since November, last I checked.
Wait, that's not a next-gen console.
That's not a next-gen console, but we will go from there. We'll just base off of that. That's like a springboard.
You guys are going to get crucified.
Oh, come on.
Internet.
It's okay, I don't care. I wasn't being serious. From a technological standpoint, it is the next-gen console.
Oh, technically,
technically it's not.
Actually, I would say,
you're the tech
from
guy.
a technological standpoint, it's not, but technically it actually is.
Yeah. Sorry, backwards. Yeah, backwards. Yeah.
Come on, Simon. You're the tech guy. You're from Korea.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
all right, so.
My computer is like 20 times better than the Wii U. So.
That's true. Oh, let's not go there.
That's not exactly hard,
can of worms there. All right, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about PlayStation 4, which got announced a couple months ago. It's been a long time. It feels like it's been forever if you've been on the internet. And of course, in a few weeks, I don't know, Swatch time, it's about 2,000 clicks. I don't know what it is, 2,000 beats. It's going to be the Microsoft Xbox Infinite, I guess it might be called.
Xbox Durango 8.
Inquisition? So that's...
Xbox Inquisition?
Inquisition? That'd be fun. Wouldn't that be a great title? They just
I
bust
love
down
the
the
Xbox
door and
games.
just start taking you out to the gallows. All right, so
Xbox Holocaust. Great.
Oh wow.
Gosh.
It's okay, guys. He's Jewish. It's fine.
I'm Jewish. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the next consoles. So, guys, anybody here have a Wii U?
I do.
You do? How you liking your Wii U?
How are you disliking your Wii U? That's the real
I
question.
like it. I just wish there were games on it.
Wish there were games. Like what games? I should
Well,
stop.
let's see. Right now, I got Super Mario Bros. U, and that's it.
How you liking your RPGs?
Ah,
Your smorgasbord of RPGs.
That's
Well,
right.
hey, Monster Hunter came
Yeah, I
out.
have an RPG site.
Monster
I
Hunter
forgot.
came out. Mass Effect 3 came
Monster
out.
Hunter.
Yeah.
There's also
Monster Hunter. There's Monster Hunter. There's Mass Effect.
oh yeah,
And Monster Hunter.
Deus Ex,
And,
Human Revolutions.
That's not out yet.
Not
That's coming out.
That's
You
coming
know,
out 2014.
Deus Ex isn't out yet, but you know what?
Yeah, I thought that was next
Just-
month or something.
Just
Oh, it
play
is
the
next month,
PC
isn't it?
version. Just
Yeah.
play the PC version, and
But
that's all you need to know.
director's cut content.
Hey, but
well,
I heard
they're gonna redo a lot of this stuff.
You know what? I bet that content will come to the PC
Oh, yeah.
version
Oh
like
yeah, it will
a few
eventually.
months
No,
later.
but they said it can't be done.
No, it
It's
can
Wii U
be done.
exclusive.
yeah, I heard it looks better than
Come
the
on.
PC version.
Until someone mods it into it and it doesn't.
I don't think it looks better than the
Yeah, I
PC
don't
version.
think it looks better. You know, like but like the thing is with the Wii U is that even though there aren't many games out, like they've been announcing a lot of games that I'm really looking
For
forward
the
to.
3DS, yeah, it's pretty.
Well, for the
incredible.
3DS and for the Wii U, like
Really?
even a couple of months back, but like they were
Like what?
they announced the Shin Megami Tensei and the Fire Emblem for the
Oh,
Wii U.
true. Yep.
Right, and
That's-
they
that's-
announced and then Project X, like
Yeah,
or-
Project X looks really good. What do you guys think about Project X?
Well, I don't know because first of all, I mean, who knows if North America is even going to get it?
they already,
it's already announced.
yeah, it's
Well,
I
you know
think
what?
they confirmed
Technically, Xenoblade was too back when it was known as like
Yeah.
Shadow
Yeah,
or
but-
whatever, and
yeah,
then
but
they
it's like-
sat on it forever, and then we
That's
got
it.
it way later than Europe did anyway.
They did, like Monado or whatever that game. It was for a long time. They confirmed it for the West, and it just sat on their website for years before.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to believe it until I see an actual printed copy in the store at this point.
This is very true.
You had to
But
pull
I
teeth.
think the initiative to show it and then reaffirm it. I think it was like earlier this week or late last week. There was a tweet. Someone said like, "Yeah, this is coming to the U.S." I think the reaffirmation and like the constant like showing that this game is going to come out is a better chance than the.
They've only showed it once, though. They haven't showed it since.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it looks interesting, and that's like the only game that I would probably get for the system at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You're not excited for Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei crossover?
I mean, I have to see what it is first.
Yeah,
I mean, It
exactly.
could be anything.
You don't have a video or even a
Yeah,
screenshot.
that really could be anything.
Like all they showed was a couple of logos and like
That's it.
some music.
You know,
What
if
about-
it's like a crossover of like tactics, like you move.
That would be, yeah.
With like demon fighting, like squad-based demon fighting, like sort of like Last Remnant. Like if it was something like that, I'm all board for that.
It makes sense.
And even
that's-
then, I mean, you got to think about Atlas. They've announced things before with like just a logo or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they've never delivered on it. So that's another game where I'm just gonna hold my breath. You know, they announced a Shin Megami Tensei game for the PS3 back in like 2005.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where is that game?
was that an official announcement, or was that just like the list?
Oh,
that...
it was an official
It was
announcement.
on there.
Oh, okay.
Totally.
That reminds me of the Resident Evil game that they were supposed to release for the PSP. What is it
Oh,
called?
yeah.
Outbreak or
And
something
Devil
like
May
that?
Cry.
Outbreak.
And then-
No, Outbreak is the PlayStation 2 game, and I love that game.
Sorry.
I love that
No,
game.
no, it was just like a Resident Evil game is coming to the PSP, and then nothing ever happened with it.
It's like Gran Turismo. It took like several years before they finally got it on the PSP, and then it was crap. So it didn't
Oh
matter.
no, dude, they did. You know that Resident Evil game for the PSP did come out. It was just pure garbage. It was called Resident Evil 6.
I'm gonna pass on that one. That wasn't so great. So,
Subject.
all right.
I think
so,
the Wii U
I
does
mean,
have a bright future. I think the Wii U has a bright future, but like
It-
as of
it-
right now, it's not.
I think it's going to be like 3DS, where like this year out of nowhere, it just got a flood of games. Like Wii U, maybe a couple years off, but I think it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, the 3DS was a really rocky start, but like where it's at now, I'm actually surprised to see where it's at now. Because, like, if you asked me when it came out and launched, if I wanted a 3DS, I'd be like, hell no, I don't want this piece of crap system.
It's a 3D part,
I'm just gonna keep my regular DS. But now I've recently played Fire Emblem. I played Luigi's Mansion, which by the way the 3D is phenomenal. Like I'm excited to It's not my 3DS. It's my brother's. I'm excited to be a partial
Okay.
owner of a 3DS.
You didn't even pay into it, apparently, so I think that whole opinion was...
Yeah, I don't know. I think the
invalid.
Wii
Yeah.
U's problem, though, is, like, they don't even have the support of some of the major publishers, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
definitely
the
going to
biggest
be...
Yeah, but at the same time, they haven't had support since, like, the N64 days, so it's...
Yeah, but they've always had EA. I mean,
But yeah, they've always had them, but the Wii U doesn't even have that now.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
much backing off with all their games.
I mean, it seems they're relying on indies, which could pay off, or it could completely blow up in their face.
Now, what they need to do is if they put Advance Wars on there, I might buy one, because that's the game that would convince me.
What's a smart idea for what the Nintendo can do is have content that can be both played on the Wii U and the 3DS. Like
Then you...
like an inexpensive, sort of like an indie game that's playable on both systems. That
Well,
you
they
can
probably
just-
will do that to some
So
extent.
you're talking
I
about
mean,
crossplay.
You mean, like, crossplay or remote
Like
play?
crossplay.
Transparring?
You know what they need to do? They need to do the 3DS link cable to the Wii U, and then you can just play it off there, and then wait.
No, like David, you said like you think they're gonna eventually do. I don't think so. I don't think the software and the infrastructure of the Wii U will allow that kind of system.
No, didn't what's-her-name say it would be like that? Emily Rogers or
Oh,
something?
God.
Like,
Or is she not trustworthy? Oh, God, am I not... should I not talk about her here?
Honestly, I don't think I would really, like...
Is
Is she
Like,
gonna
she's-
kill me?
She says a lot of stuff, but I don't know.
Educated guesses, really.
I don't
is that
know.
it?
What do you guys think? Do you guys think that kind of stuff like is actually possible? Like technically possible? Like I think it's a good idea, but whether it's actually possible on this.
I don't think they would kind of
I think it
cannibalize
depends.
themselves like that. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, Nintendo's, like, so unpredictable these days. They say a lot of things, and then
Yeah.
they do, like, the complete opposite, or then they come out of nowhere with certain things, so it's hard to tell. You never
Well,
know.
What do you guys think about the whole announcement that they won't have a press conference at E3? How about that?
I was actually disappointed because, I mean, the problem with only focusing on Nintendo Directs is they're preaching to the same choir.
That's
Is it really only Nintendo Directs, though? They haven't actually said what it is. It could,
Well,
it could be...
they will still have their booth, of course.
Yeah.
Well, what
the
they're
fact
gonna
that they're
do-
not having a formal press conference is, I think, looks bad.
Well, there's
It
a few.
does,
Yeah, there's a
because
few
you have
things.
to
yeah.
realize it's not only just the games media who looks
Yeah,
at these
it's
big
the
press
mainstream outlets that come.
mainstream, yeah.
Yeah, but couldn't they
So-
also be invited to, like, a closed-door thing?
No,
I mean,
this
could
is
even
this
be-
is so. This is what they're doing. Is that what they're going to do? Is that they're going to have a closed door meeting among like investors and publishers, maybe
which
like
they've
on
always
Monday.
done every year. Which
Yep,
they've
and
always
on
done.
Tuesday, what they're doing is they're opening the doors early for their booth. So instead of having it at 9 o'clock in the morning like they tended to, they're going to have their booth open earlier for the press and stuff like that, so they
Yeah.
can come in and play their games. So I don't know if it means that all of E3 is going to open up earlier, or if it just means that select people are be able to come in and do their meetings like they would normally do. So
You know-
that's the plan.
You know, actually, I'm not actually surprised that they're doing that because I forget, when did Skyward Sword come out? Last year? Or
No, 2011.
2011.
2011, I'm sorry, I'm getting the years. You know, like, because they had all the Skyward Sword stuff after the press conference. I think they were sort of gleaming from that and getting the idea of, like, let's just not have a press conference, just show games. Because
But the problem is that the Nintendo E3 conferences have always been like the highest rated among all of them
Yeah,
because
I
people are
agree
most
that
excited
having
about
is a
them.
bad
Yes,
idea.
they've
I
always
agree
been the most highly rated. They've always attracted the most people. It's not just because of the memes that come out of it all the damn time. It's also because there's
I guess you missed the
genuine-
2008 one then.
you also have to, like, put it
Is that
into
the one with the Ravi drums?
Yeah.
You have to also put it into a perspective, like Sony and Microsoft, they have multiple opportunities to like make huge press conferences and stuff like that. Nintendo E3 is like the only time for them to like make a huge like formal press conference for everyone to like they say, hey, this is what's going to come out. This is what's happening for the year, and this is what we're going to be doing in the future.
It's the difference. It's showing what they're trying to find out. Of course, is all these Nintendo Directs, can they be as an effective a message as a press conference would be? Personally, I don't really know because that's like a press release. That's like an infomercial. It's not
in
really.
terms of the mass market, I would say no because I mean, look at all the people who don't even know like what the Wii U is. They're still confused. So
marketing hasn't really done a good job.
Those same people are not going to watch Nintendo Direct. Those same people might go to like MSN or Yahoo and see mainstream news about it, and then they might learn about it, but they're not going to go out of their way to see Nintendo's own press stuff that's put online.
Yeah, well, here's the way I see it. There's since this is a Nintendo Direct during E3, it's going to have more viewership than a normal Nintendo Direct, I think, which that could make up viewership going forward with the monthly Nintendo Directs. So it could be a good thing in the long run, but maybe not as...
I don't know, because it's kind of hard to say, because the press, of course, is going to be focused on what's coming out at E3, but when it comes to Nintendo Directs, they can always have somebody who's looking at those, because it's kind of funny, because people like to, on Gap and elsewhere, is that they say that Nintendo Directs, with this, that will show the press that they can't make fun of Nintendo, except for the fact that everyone watches the Nintendo Directs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So it's
I saw that argument, and I was just like, really? No.
I think not having the press conferences, I think people will be this is me playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying this is a smart idea. I think that they're trying to move people away from those large one-off conferences and trying to get more people engaged, so they're forced to watch Nintendo Direct if they want to keep up with Nintendo stuff.
It's changing the message and changing the direction of the focus, and it's because I don't know, after last year.
You have to understand. I think this is me trying to rationalize their strategy. I think that instead of having just one huge conference and not having anything else for the rest of the year, they're forcing people to come to these stuff that Nintendo Directs, which stuff happens very frequently. So there's a constant inflow of Nintendo information to either the gaming press or the mainstream press.
Look at it this way. People are going to get their news either way. Look at how many people found out about Link to the Past too, even without watching the Direct. It's gonna go.
But it's the same as a press release. I think it's just that the focus of the mass media is more on these conferences, because it's a once a year thing. Everyone gets excited around it. The Nintendo Directs, I can understand where you're coming from about the smaller things. I think last year, for example, way more focus was put on the 3DS Nintendo Direct than it was the actual Nintendo press conference. So that's the kind of thing, because the Wii U one was god awful. You Batman Arkham City, just
Yeah,
it was so bad.
When I played that, when I went to one of the Wii U events before the console launch, and I got a chance to play that, not so hot.
I played it on the floor,
it wasn't that great. And then I checked out a lot of the other Wii U games, and they weren't that great. The only Wii U games that I was really impressed about before the console launch was Pikmin 3. And that game seemed ready. I don't know why that game is not out yet.
It played well.
I don't know why that
They had to add flying Pikmin.
They did add that.
Sure. Let's have Pikmin that can burrow too. We can just make this American StarCraft. Why not?
I think it's really the fact that they wanted to get out ahead of everybody else. They announced it too early. They released it too early. But I'm sure next year we'll probably be talking about how many Wii U games there are to choose from. So it's kind of, I'm sure people who own it are hoping that. But yeah, so well, let's go ahead and let's put Nintendo on the back burner for now, like so many people have been lately, and move on to Sony's PlayStation 4 announcement in February. So yeah, that was a pretty exciting moment there.
It was? I don't know, dude.
It was kinda. They announced a few games. It was like a Sony coming out party.
I think you have to look at it like this. I think you have to look at it compared to how they used to act, and compare it to how much they've changed, because they've definitely their mindset now is completely different than it was in 2006 when they were talking about the PS3. So I think that's the most important thing and the most exciting thing to actually come out of that conference is to see how much they have actually changed.
Yeah,
and
that's part of it.
They want to make a gaming machine for gamers, and they want to get out there with the developers.
The best reception going into next gen. Everyone's angry at Microsoft for all these rumors. Everyone's angry at Nintendo for doing things.
Even though they didn't show the box, it eventually just all comes down to the games. And I think getting in with those developers and making them happy, I think that's only going to benefit them in the long run.
Yeah.
What shocked me is that I thought the audience for that conference was going to be the mainstream press, for everyone saying, "Hey, this is our new console." It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be for everyone. That's not who I thought the audience was. Then I started watching it, and then I thought the audience was, oh, this is for hardcore gamers.
There's a couple reasons for that.
Yeah.
I just want to point out first though is that the 3DS is an awesome machine, and I really think it's awesome. So it's just the Wii U I'm disappointed about. But about the I just want to get that out of the way. But the about the PlayStation 4, the reason is it's pretty clear is that the people who are going to buy their consoles launch day is going to be the hardcore. It's not going to be the people that are.
But
I think I'm kind of interested in this.
Even after watching the press conference, like that was me thinking while watching the press conference, like, oh, this is for hardcore gamers. And then I thought about it after finished watching the conference. And I'm like, no, actually, the audience for that really wasn't hardcore gamers either. The audience for that were game developers. They were trying to get developers on board. It wasn't so they can get people to get excited for buying this console. It's so they can get other people, other developers on board saying, hey, develop for us because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and
so the audience was like, I did not realize that's what the audience. Their target audience was.
Yeah, it's also because after interviewing a few developers over the past couple of years, the biggest thing they've always said to me was just that how absolutely mind-boggling the software development kit was for the PlayStation 3, especially out of the gate, like all the documentation, the real lack of support coming out of Sony, and that's the big reason why they basically called it the absolute worst experience they've had with the console.
Killed that.
Yeah, it was a terrible time for a lot of developers. That's why you've always kept hearing about people having struggling to develop a game for it, is because a lot of the documentation, the software, the cell processor, really hard to program for.
Well, the architecture was bad.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't good for.
But it could make your refrigerator do stuff. The cell was awesome.
I think Sony's learned greatly from this generation, and moving on, they have a great starting point. They have a good idea for what they want to do. The thing I'm most worried about is their multimedia department. Like if you look at it, I have no idea why. I would just state right now that the PlayStation Store is complete utter shit. It is a horrible piece of crap compared to the Xbox Marketplace.
The Xbox One isn't that much better.
It's so slow.
You know what? If you use the web store, it's like a million times better.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a testament to like how bad like Sony is dealing with this. If you have to use the web store instead of using the console to buy stuff, I think you're doing something wrong. Like, why should I go online when the whole point of streamlining things and I can just buy stuff and do stuff from the console? Why is it so slow?
Yeah, I think, well, they've said this before, but due to the memory limitations, they just, like, there's only so much they can do, but...
That's why DDR5, right? That's why the PS4 is DDR5.
It's because what happens is that they didn't, like, segment it at all, so it's all... That's the reason why you don't have, like, cross-game chat and stuff like that, is because all the memory is dedicated either to the game or to, like, the OS. It can't be split,
yeah,
so it causes a huge amount of the headache. I'm glad they're focusing on the bandwidth, first and foremost, on the PlayStation.
They need to change how games are important, but they need to change how the users interact with the interface.
Yeah.
Well, they did talk about that.
Yeah, they talked a lot about it.
If you go back to the press conference and watch, they did mention it.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned it, but they didn't show much of it. They didn't show much of it, and the video clips were, like, they were just demos, in my opinion. I felt like I wanted to see, like, a live demonstration of, like, hey, this is how you interact with our system.
I thought it was surprising they actually show that stuff at all, because they usually don't show that. They usually keep it to the back. I'm like,
they usually don't. And to be honest, I bet they'll show it at E3.
They showed a lot.
Well, they sort of have to show it at E3 if they don't. Like,
I mean, if you remember for the Vita, they spent their entire Tokyo Game Show conference that year was spent messing around with the interface.
Yeah.
Oh god, that in the interface of the Vita. I mean, it's recently gotten better, but before. Just the bubbles. Just like I was like, I don't know, guys. This is bad.
Bubbles.
They were trying to imitate like the Android and like.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
So much.
It's a really bad idea. That's not good.
Yeah. It's
Android, neither iOS or Android look that great unless you put a bunch of skins on them. Then it's all. Yeah.
I have great hope for the PS4 because it looks technically, like, looking at the specs, it looks awesome. I hope Sony's learned from their like stuff multimedia front this generation, because Microsoft raffle stomped them, to say the least.
Raffle stomp?
Raffle stomp, really?
Yeah.
Simon, you're done.
I
It's
said
over.
it.
Nope, got it.
Fired.
You're out of here. All right, you can go. Yeah, I think it remains to be seen what Sony has proven themselves, because they're also competing with a lot of other technology around them. So it's just like the Vita. It's like it's going to be like this great system. We've learned from our mistakes, and then it's pretty much like the PSP right now. So,
well, I think the difference there is the Vita is a handheld, and the dedicated handheld market in the United States is shrinking.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's really not much they can do about that because of the competition.
It's not even just the United States, though. It's
the third-party support too, though, because
it's everywhere.
The 3DS is doing pretty well. It's the Vita that's been
even in the U.S., 3DS isn't doing like that amazing.
That's true.
But
It's doing passable, though.
it's doing okay, but not as well as it could be because of the competition from tablets and phones. But with a home console, I think it's completely different. I mean, there really isn't like
It's the battle for the home. Yes.
Aside from PCs, there really isn't anything comparable to it.
Let's hope the home console market hasn't crashed by the time next gen.
You mean the AAA market, the AAA gaming market,
The AAA market might crash, but I don't know if the console market will crash. I think the problem is they let the middle ground bottom out, and that never should have happened.
I mean, it's impossible to predict what's going to happen at this point.
I think at the same time, though, it's just that you're starting to see other publishers come out. If you're talking about the middle tier, so like Nordic Games bought up all those properties, and then you got Deep Silver coming up, and so you still got like these publishers after THQ fell, buying up their properties and trying again. There's still, I think there's a lot of growth in the middle. It's just the top that seems to be the one crumbling because they can't support thousands and thousands of employees and like these hundreds of millions of dollars of budget. So
I have no doubt that like the middle ground games could be supported. It's a matter of do the publishers want to opt to do that, because everyone wants to strike gold at this point. That they're just like, it's either with AAA and we succeed or like nothing. No, like we won't take anything else for an answer.
Yeah, and I think that's
part of the problem.
Exactly, and I think that's what Nintendo and Sony have been really smart about lately, is that they're really trying to court the indie developer, because they know that if it's at this point it's almost like quantity over quality, because the more games you have starting as soon as possible, the more people you have coming to your side, because they just get that impression that, hey, there's a lot of games over here, I have plenty to choose from, let me try your system out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's true. And, I don't blame them for that. I mean, it's good that they're reaching out to those smaller developers, but, I mean, they're still going to have the big games, so, people worried about them not having those or not. And I think even to an extent, they will still have their kind of, like, B-tier games, but it's...
What do you guys think about the major, like, the big development support that the PS4 is getting, like Capcom,
I think it's actually, this is what somebody told me, but basically that Sony is in this sort of battle mode now, and they want to go back to how they were during the PS1 days, where they went around to these different developers and they said, what can we do for you? And, give us your ideas, and we want you to make software for us. And I think that's actually what's been going on. So
the West is one over the East. No, okay.
Well, no, so, they're getting out there to the European developers and the American developers and even Japan. They're getting out to them as well. So I think they are actually going into this pretty solid, because they're going to have all three regions. And I guess for me especially, having Japan there is huge. I mean...
It helps that Sony and Nintendo have extremely strong first-party studios that they can utilize them to go around to like third parties and show, hey, this is the best thing we can do for this console after we had a lot of time to work on it. Why don't you make a game for our system now? So.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be any shortage of deals on any side this
be sure. And so I think that's part, and the fact is that, the PlayStation 4 was announced, and they only showed off a few games. It was mostly about, as you said, showing to the world that they have learned from their mistakes, and they're trying to mend what damages have been done over the past several years with this past generation, and now they want to look forward. And so now we have E3, we have Gamescom, we have Tokyo Game Show to look forward to see about the focus on games. So that's really what I hope they really hone in on, because the UI is nice and all, but as they kind of alluded to before, the people that are going to be buying the consoles off the bat, they already said that this launch is their best launch that they've, it's PR spin, really, but they're saying it's like the best launch they've ever had. So it'd be interesting to see what exactly games they're going to show, because obviously it's the fans who decide that.
Yeah, and this is like sort of a segue into like, I guess we can talk about Microsoft, but like, I think
you would do that, wouldn't you?
I'm sorry.
Why would you bring Microsoft up?
Sony has presence in Japan, and that is going to help a lot because Xbox sort of bombed.
Sort of.
Okay, to put it into Simon terms, they got shit stomped. They got massively destroyed.
Before the PlayStation 2 got stopped, they had the 360 still selling less than it. So
they got nuked to Kingdom Come. Yeah, no, the Xbox 360 was a failure, and that's putting it lightly. So Sony has a huge edge because they have one huge technological territory that Microsoft does not have a hand in, and Microsoft is going to be behind on that aspect because they're losing that audience.
And I know some people will argue and say that Japan doesn't matter and they're not relevant anymore, but I completely disagree. I really disagree with that opinion because
they're kind of coming back sales-wise, don't you think?
I think you're seeing a lot of Japanese developers kind of go back to what they've done best, like especially Namco. They realized that trying to be Western was
they said that
was not really working for them, and I think you'll even see like Square Enix and some other companies go back to that route too. So I think like they have a chance going into this next generation to do a lot better, especially now that the PS4 is going to be super easy to develop for.
I hate to
but you don't think they'll retreat to handhelds even more?
Well, I mean, that's always a possibility, but I mean, look at companies like Nipponichi. I mean, they could have retreated to handhelds.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
While they have made handheld games, they are one of the best supporters for the PS3, which, I mean, who would have expected that?
True.
Yeah. And I hate
to equate them to drug dealers, but that's sort of what they are. Like, they were trying to... the Japanese developers, like, they were trying to figure out, like, create, like, new products that hopefully, like, fans would eat up, but they didn't. So now they're just going back to their original roots and just perfecting their craft.
Well, the problem was they tried to, like, westernize themselves and make, like, Western-style games, and they were terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys did like Quantum Theory? That was a pretty cool game, wasn't it?
I was just going to mention that.
Quantum Theory is pretty cool.
God. Mindjack.
Yeah, you know what? I have no idea what they were thinking. And what's it called? There's this new game coming out by Capcom. Remember Me?
That's not. That was just something that they picked up to like.
Yeah, Capcom picked that up.
All right,
that wasn't something that they decided that they were going to make. But
I'm looking forward to
Capcom's guilty of it too. Look at Lost Planet 3.
Lost Planet, Dark Void.
Lost Planet 3 looks pretty good, guys. I'm just saying.
No, it doesn't.
I think it looks good. I played it last time.
You know, they're making Lost. They didn't learn from that. They're like, no. Second time is the charm. Lost Planet 2. No, wait. Third time is the charm.
It's not Devil May Cry bad.
Oh God! Don't even get me started.
Devil May Cry is a good game.
Don't mention the MC.
The people that they equate it to a Devil May Cry game rather than looking at it as an action game.
I like Ninja Theory.
The problem is that game shouldn't have been called Devil May Cry. It should have been something completely different with different character names at least.
Heavenly Sword 2.
Because I think that game is a good game. Like as an action game, I think it's a stellar action game.
I thought it was okay. But
it's Ninja Theory. It's just like their style doesn't adapt to Devil May Cry at all. It's like they're nice going like a.
Well, it's not a Devil May Cry game. That's part of the problem.
Yeah,
it's not what defined it as Devil May Cry, especially after Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 4. It's not what I would consider to be part of that.
Devil May Cry 4 was kind of shit. So
hey, I liked it.
It's Neo.
You know what?
It had good combat.
Johnny on Bosch. I was like, oh, it's become anime. I don't want to play it. It's just I don't know what.
You might diss on Johnny on Bosch, but Nero was a great character.
Nero. Sorry, I called him Neo, but
he was an extremely different character compared to Dante.
It was fun. It's like okay, let's beat all these bosses. Okay, now let's do a 180. Come back, beat all these bosses again. It's like this bullshit.
That's game design, though. That's not character.
That's like what Devil May Cry is, though. Haven't you? Didn't you ever play the other one?
They made it.
Yeah, but it was.
Yeah, but they sort of like spat on your face.
Yeah.
For it.
I mean, how many times did you have to fight all in the same areas in 3? There's several times where you had to go back and do it again.
The same boss, like you didn't fight like 3 of the same boss again, and those are the only 3 types of bosses like that are I guess okay fine, Sanctus counts, right? So like you had to fight what's his face, Burial and Echidna and the frog dude, I don't know what his name, like twice each. I was like, what the heck? Why did you design that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that game had serious development problems, and they were just like, screw it, we're just gonna throw what we have together and just put it out.
Yeah.
Well, people were expecting it to be a launch title for the PS3.
Yeah, I was definitely in that boat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I lost my train of thought in the middle of a sentence.
That was a nice tangent.
Yeah! I yelled out my frustration with trying to come up with words. It was impressive. So let's just talk more about let's talk about Microsoft now, since as I mentioned before, they just recently came out and said that they will be announcing their next system on May 21st. So finally, people can start talking about the system based on facts instead of speculation.
You mean we won't have to call it Durango anymore? Oh, thank God.
Aww.
That's my favorite.
I want to call it Django. Let's call it Durango Unchained.
God.
You need to get the hell out of here.
It's the stupidest code name ever. I really hate it.
You know what? At least Natal was better. At least Natal was better.
No.
Talk about our favorite.
Natal was worse than Durango,
Dolphin was
really?
pretty good.
Durango's at least a thing. Natal is, what the hell, belly button? Bullshit?
No.
I don't know.
Durango, it's a car.
Yeah, Durango's a car.
Jeep Durango. No, Dodge Durango, I'm sorry.
Whenever I think of Durango, I think of that
Sponsor.
movie with Johnny Depp in it. Oh wait, maybe that's Rango.
Rango.
Well, you were close.
2
Like
Rangos.
2 letters, but you know.
Yeah, it's like...
It was impressive that you thought of that. Alright, so then with this next console coming up, there's been a lot of talk about what exactly the next I almost called it the next 360. What Xbox, let's call it the next Xbox, because I don't like the idea of calling it Xbox Infinite just yet.
Right.
Yeah, I like the tagline, infinite possibilities.
Infinite Undiscovery.
No,
oh God.
Please don't mention that.
Oh God.
Please do not.
Sequel, that's coming to Xbox.
Progressing back.
Oh my
I think
God.
it's actually.
Sorry, Ace, what have they done to you?
We call it Xbox 8. I think Xbox 8 is a bad name, but I don't doubt that that's what they might.
It's better than Xbox 720. I should say that.
Yeah, I don't like that name either.
720.
720.
I don't know. Microsoft sort of shot themselves in the foot by naming the 360 360. Just saying.
I don't know if they shot themselves in the foot because it was different enough because no one really paid attention to the Xbox in the first place. I think
why call it the Xbox 360 in the first place?
Because they want to be the full experience. I don't know.
No, you dropped the brand name entirely. The brand name matters to them, so that's why. And
people just call the Xbox and they're like, what? They're not going to say, oh, you mean the first one or the second one?
Well, you could call it the Xbox 2. Like, why didn't they call it Xbox 2? I don't. So
because it would look bad against the PlayStation.
Yeah, because PlayStation 3 versus Xbox 2. It's all about
right,
marketing.
obviously. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they sort of shot themselves in the foot for thinking of the third one. Like, what are we going to name our third one? Xbox 361.
Well, anything is better than 720, really. But so now that we're looking ahead, we're talking about a system that's got a lot of rumors about what exactly is going to be in that damn thing.
Particularly one strong rumor.
Yeah, it's about the idea of having always-on internet, of course. So based on
not always on internet, always online.
Always online, sorry.
Always online, DRM.
Always on
To be
internet.
complete.
But it's
And then
redundant.
even that rumor has segmented into like you can play games, but the console will still always have to be online.
That's the thing, is that everyone has their sources that's telling us different stories. So one person comes out and says, no, it's okay, you guys. You can play this offline. You just can decide whether to. And then another one says, no, that's a bunch of bull. You actually need an internet connection in order
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around. I think some of the more recent ones are actually probably more accurate. In specific, there's one that said that there's, like Microsoft is like 6 months behind on their software.
Yeah,
and that is actually something that I did hear from a pretty reliable person, and I definitely trust them. So I just wonder how everything is going to work out for them.
So
like
they're
really behind.
I think
it's
they focused too much money. I think they might have spent too much resources trying to get this console to work.
Well, and I think the other problem is most of the people who are behind the Xbox 360 aren't even at Microsoft anymore. So
That's true. They did
you have
cut off their
people,
first party.
You have people there that, like, they're not visionaries.
Yeah.
So are we going to have another Red Ring scenario?
No, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a problem with the design. Well, okay.
They fixed it with the Xbox Slim. I don't think they'll go back to that. I think the thing is that what they're going to do, because their first party is like a fraction of what it used to be, is that instead you're going to see them be far more aggressive on securing third-party exclusives. So they're going to spend the bank accounts on buying up all these third-party games and selling them as exclusive titles for the next system. I think that's the focus for them.
Even if, to go further, to expand on that, if we might see a permanent exclusive, we might see timed exclusive of
I
titles
think you'll see timed, and I think it'll be mainly like Western games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Well, I think that's
not
not
happening
saying
with
it now.
It's not happening with the Destiny, but like remember
The
when
Destiny,
Destiny was first talked about? Like they said, it would first come out for the Xbox, and then a year later for the PS3.
Well, Destiny is getting exclusive PlayStation 4 content, so that's.
But they never said that the Xbox is not getting exclusive content as well. So
yeah.
You don't know.
But I just mean it's obviously not that type of situation with Destiny, anyways, because it seems like they're being pretty even on it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is Activision, so they really never do full exclusive. They do, like, exclusive content, and I think you'll continue to see exclusive content, but, I mean, in terms of games, they might get some exclusive shooters, but, I mean, personally, I don't even really care about that.
What do you guys,
In all honesty, exclusive games don't really matter towards late games.
They do to some extent.
I think it matters to me.
I think it matters to an extent.
I think if you're talking about the broad scheme of things, maybe not, but it seems, I think as a gamer, I would say.
If the game is multi-platform and the consoles are pretty much the same, you're gonna only buy. There's no incentive to have both consoles.
That's
right,
okay.
and that's why having exclusive games is a good thing, because something needs to differentiate the consoles. Otherwise, what's the point of having two consoles that have all the same games?
Right, and that's my point. That's my point, is that in the beginning, exclusives will matter a ton. But like going on as like the console's life cycle like reaches towards the end, the exclusive will start mattering less and less and less.
I think it's still I think it will still matter, because I mean, even if Microsoft and Sony were ripping each other off, they did like PlayStation Move and Connect. They were finding ways to get people to keep buying their systems. So if they decided they're just going to kind of play it coy for the rest of the 10-year cycle, whatever they're going to do, I don't think that's really going to be the case.
I'm not saying exclusives will be irrelevant. And to like the what's it called? The Connect and the Move, that's examples like that's sort of to extend the life cycle. That wasn't to bring exclusive content. That was to separate. Exclusive content that wasn't.
Voice keeps going on. I'm sorry.
That was an afterthought, not what their main intent was in creating them. It was just to extend the life cycles while they were trying to get the next consoles going, and then trying to steal Nintendo's thunder. Like that was it. Like I'm not saying the exclusives are gonna be completely irrelevant. I'm just saying like they matter a ton more in the beginning of the console's life cycle than it does. Like it
was for the casuals, really. Is that they were trying to court them because they realized, hey, there's a lot of you guys.
I don't know. Why did they create Steel Battalion? That wasn't.
Because they tried to court Japan with Kinect, and Japan didn't care.
Yeah, Japan was like, no, it's okay.
I can buy that.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense. That makes more sense.
That Crimson Dragon game still isn't out.
That game looks awesome, though, and it's like, I wish that wasn't Kinect, because that game looks really cool.
I think one thing that's true about the Microsoft console is online is going to be a big factor into how this console runs. Because like, all these rumors circulating around it, like online has to be a big component.
Well, the Edge article that like first really brought it up, they were right on their PS4 stuff, so I have no doubt that, you know, they have pretty accurate sources. Yeah,
and it sounds to me like what they're going to try to do is have it so that a cable box is embedded inside that thing so that you can hook it up and use it as broadband television or something like that. Because you hear the rumors about Xbox TV.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Honestly, I think that's a smart idea, but that's going to really alienate like some regions entirely.
Oh yeah, I mean Europe, Japan, most of Europe.
Regional. And it looks like they're focusing on North America like entirely, and even then, like some of Canada is going to get screwed over.
I think we can say one thing: there's going to be region locking. No doubt. Yeah. No doubt, the next Xbox will have region lock as well. So.
Yeah,
I hate that idea.
Did you guys? And watch the bonus round? Do you guys watch the bonus round on Game Pass?
Sometimes.
Do you guys watch the latest one, the one that came out this Sunday?
The one that they're talking about, the Always On. I saw part of it.
Okay, I think the question that everyone wants an answer to is, why would I want a system to be online? What benefits is there in
incentives? Incentives is really important. That's obviously it's that you'd want to get something in return for giving up your data, your privacy, and the fact that you have to use up your ISP's bandwidth because you only have so much. So having it online like that,
not true, because with certain providers, it's infinite bandwidth. Like the bandwidth is so large.
But that is really shrinking the number of people that provide that.
Well, I think there are two precedents that this console might have the set for us. Is that like it's going to force ISP providers to like step up their game and stop screwing over the providers.
Oh God, I wish that was true.
Yeah,
I think they'll put the noose around
happen.
us. I think they're going to tighten the grip. Like,
but
hey,
but if Microsoft is in deal with the cable companies, and a lot of cable companies are ISP providers, if they have something set up like that, I don't know. For all you know, that the bandwidth cap can go up, and like we might have a ton of better ISP providers. Like
I could have sworn that was brought up sometime not too long ago. We was talking about how like certain things that you do. I don't know if it was like Viacom or something like that, Verizon, where certain things that you would do wouldn't use up bandwidth or something. I'm not.
I don't know, but I have a hard time seeing all these ISPs just being like, oh well, we're just gonna up the caps. I mean, look how
it might not be all the ISPs.
Look how long it's taking them to raise, like Comcast, to raise the caps that are currently out there. I mean, our internet is still terrible compared to like Japan or even parts of Europe.
They just announced like 2 gigabytes of internet in Japan for $10. And I was like, what?
You know, that's what I'm saying is that, you know, they might create competition. Like, if Microsoft signs a deal with ISP providers, like, I don't know if it's going to be Comcast, and saying, you know, we're going to provide top quality ISP, that's going to make other
Brought to you by AT&T.
It's going to make other ISP providers look like shit, and it's going to have to make them step up their game. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think that might happen. And I went to see, not a conference, a showing by Michael Pachter at South by Southwest, and he made a lot of interesting points. Like it might even get the government involved. Like when cable and the transition into HD was a big thing. Like the country's bandwidth is absolutely atrocious when you when you compare it to like the Asian countries. Like Korea, I think Korea is number 1, right?
I think Japan's number 1. Korea.
No, Japan's definitely not number 1. Japan's up there, but it's definitely not number 1. It's like I think. Might be one European.
It's probably like Norway or something, like Switzerland or something.
Regardless, majority of the Asian countries like have their like network infrastructure like down, like they got that shit down. And the US,
it helps when it's a lot smaller.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the U.S. is really big, so
it's bigger than most countries. Texas is bigger than most countries.
But even right now, you see like internet being like so like it's permeating throughout society.
Yeah, the focus the focus has been on internet.
Like Google Fiber recently announced, hey, you know, we're bringing Google Fiber to Austin. Like
not to you though.
Oh, I'm moving. So, but and then, you know, actually after that announcement, AT&T is a big provider of internet here in Austin. They said like, oh, we're also bringing fiber optics too.
Oh yeah, and Vermont actually announced that they have internet that's like half the price of Google Fiber with the same speed. So you've seen, like as you said, other ISPs kind of stepping up their game to try to court people who are interested in fiber.
So it's gonna force
I don't have it yet.
People to adopt, like, it's gonna force people to adopt these, you know, the always better internet. It's gonna get rid of the crappy, shitty DSL and dial-up or whatever crap. No, I mean, like, remember when, like, cable, everyone watched standard, and then they sort of forced us to go into HD, like a lot of the channels into digital?
Digital. That was a long time ago. That was like
I don't know. I was already on HD before that happened, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, like there are a lot of people who still run like cable, like they don't run digital. Like digital is now the thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is what also happens in the future.
I can't play my Super Nintendo game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in terms of the new Xbox, though, I really have to wonder, like, how important all that TV stuff is going to be as people move further and further away from, like, watching TV at home. More and more people are watching TV on mobile devices, on their computers, and they're not going to want to sit in front of the TV no matter what the new Xbox has in terms of, like, entertainment stuff.
Yeah, well...
Well, it's going to be more like a cable box. So, like, it's going to be, like, offering systems like Hulu or probably stuff like that. That's what it's going to be.
But I can get that kind of stuff on my tablet. Why would I want to watch it on my Xbox?
You know who hasn't
Right, and I
talked
think
much
that's the point of
lately?
the smart glass.
You know who hasn't talked much lately? Yeah, David. What do you think?
What do you want me to say?
You've been really quiet, and I just felt bad. I was like, David, come on, talking to us.
You guys are talking about like.
Last time you talked to me
really
something about the Xbox
I don't know.
Holocaust, and I want to discuss more with you about what you think about the Xbox.
I don't know. Like, there needs to be a filter with all these rumors. It's ridiculous.
It's true.
Like, let me think. I feel like I did have something I wanted to say, but I forgot it.
Put your foot down, David. Let it be known. What about the Xbox?
I don't know. Like
Good
the stuff
enough.
of not focusing on games at all. Like that upsets me.
I think that's the kind of thing is that your TV can do a lot of the things, and you bet that someone's going to release a TV that has a cable box embedded inside it as well. So it's like, I don't know, guys. There's a lot of devices around that do a lot of the same things that Microsoft is promising to do. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there was a rumor recently about the pricing models for the Xbox. It's
That's
going to be $500 flat or $299 with a 2-year.
Yeah, what do you guys think about if the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox release with a contract?
I don't think the PS4 will. I don't think the
I don't
PS4
know.
will.
I would buy into it because the one that you can do for the Xbox 360 right now is really shady. Like, you have to pay for Live Monthly, which, I mean, that happens anyway, but you can't sell the system during that period. And, I mean, the bundles they have aren't the greatest either, so I can only imagine.
Is that really so bad? Like, not being able to sell the system? Well,
if you get tired of the games,
I would want to. If you get tired of the system, I mean, why would you want to?
Resale is important.
If you get broke.
Well,
get your ass broke. So,
I mean, I guess I have a hard time seeing that because, like, I feel like, for me, I don't view it as anything different, like, than buying a phone. That's
contract. The thing. I was going to bring this up is that I think more and more people are moving away from the idea of a contract because you see like T-Mobile coming out breaking contracts. You see like AT&T saying, "Yeah, we'll unlock your phone. That's no problem."
Yeah, I mean, they have made that similar to the phone contracts. I mean,
I don't like contracts really.
Yeah, I mean, you do see a lot of people buying unlocked phones.
Want to own it.
With a console, it's generally cheaper if you just buy it up front anyway.
Yeah, it's always the case. Like. Even like modems and stuff like that, it's cheaper.
Well, they're trying to make it bearable. They're trying to make the price like.
Well, I mean, if it's like $400 or $500, that's not that bad compared to like a phone, which the newer phones start out at like $800.
Yeah, and then you pay. Well, and if you buy into a contract, you're talking about $80. And then you have to pay like $250 for like the newer phones and stuff like that. It ends up you end up losing money in the long run. I can understand why they want to get it into more people's hands, so they introduce that model. I just wonder if you can look at like the statistics. How many people are like defaulting on Xbox 360 payments? I wonder how that's.
Yeah, like they do. Like you have to have a credit card, and then they have to take it out of their credit card. So. I do have to wonder, like, how many people got into that deal and, like, didn't realize how sketchy it is. And if you want to cancel it, they charge you a pretty big fee.
Yeah, it's just like canceling any kind of contract. It's a big, like, hundreds of dollars.
But when you sign the contract, you're supposed to know that. Like, you signed the contract knowing that.
Right, but you have to think, though, how many people don't pay attention to it?
Yeah, who reads the fine print?
You're talking like it's like the 360. This is a much larger problem. Just people ignorant. People ignorant, all right?
I don't know. I think the contract model is not a bad idea. I think if it gets...
It's for certain people, I understand.
It's for certain people.
Yeah.
But
I personally would buy the console straight up without the contract. But as a person who doesn't have a lot of money but want the console right away and then don't mind paying the full price of it over time, I don't think it's the world's worst idea.
That's true. I mean, people will buy the $300 one if this becomes true. They'll buy the contract if they want it. If they don't, they'll pay the $500 and get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so are you guys comfortable with the idea that the next Xbox, the next PlayStation,
you can just say next 360, it's the same thing.
The next 360, might as well, are going to be like $500 each. Are you guys comfortable with that price? Do you think $500 is it?
Yeah, $500 sounds good.
And we're all a bunch of analysts here. We're all paid for. Well, no, we're not paid.
No,
I think anything above 500 is stupid.
Anything above 500 is too expensive, but
I think 500 might be a problem too.
Yeah, I think $400 is okay.
I think it'll be either $399,
Oh, you're being official
or
now.
$450 or $499.
I don't think people look at
$449.
it as $500. I think people look at that and say, "Oh, that's half a grand." I think that's what they're going to look at and be like, "Oh, okay, it's half a grand."
$599.
Half a grand is a lot of money.
It's because the
Wii
WiiU at 350 was pricey. I keep talking up you, and I do enjoy it though.
Yeah, I mean the Wii U at $350 is actually way too expensive for what it is.
It's the hard drive really that got me, the 30 gigabyte hard drive. SSD though.
Isn't it being subsidized by like retailers, sort of, by giving you gift cards and free games and all this?
Well, that happens with actually almost all of the systems.
Okay, but
Yeah, Yeah, I think it probably still happens even like with it's because we're not paying as close attention as we used to. I mean we are paying way more attention than we used to. I think it probably happens quite a bit. It's because they have more competition among retailers, so they need to offer gift cards to get people to buy.
I don't
and
know.
those gift cards are actually from they're from Nintendo. Like it's not the retailer taking the back on it.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's also like Amazon, you know, they offer these sales, but then like they also take the hit, like these big retailers take the hit themselves if they like even by offering the console like $1 cheaper, that's like their way to try to cut off what else people can do. So.
I don't know. When the 360 and the PS3 launched, I didn't see that for the PS3 had a price drop. That doesn't count.
That was pretty quick, yeah.
That was a pretty quick push up. But the 360 didn't have any of that stuff for a long while. And that's
because they had so many. They had like they didn't have.
The only place that I saw had good deals are the only two places that I know has deals all the time, which is Sam's Club or Costco. That's it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's because of also that you're never going to see a single SKU anymore. It's always going to be multiple models, and so I think that based on what people have been talking about, though, is that the PlayStation 4 may launch with just a single one, 500 gigabyte one or something like that. And for the next Xbox, they're talking about a set-top model, which may come later after launch, and as you talked about those two models, the regular and the subsidized, the contract one.
Yeah, I think honestly, at this point, I think it would be smarter if they just went with one SKU because consumers get confused very easily, and I used to work in retail, so I've seen plenty of this. But people don't know until you tell them what a certain thing is. So
what's the difference between this box and that box?
I was at Best Buy when the 360 came out. I worked there, and yeah, that was a nightmare. And it's also because
they'll
look at King Kong.
They'll look at the cheaper version and be like, "Oh, I want that one because it's cheaper." And little do they know it's
no hard drive.
There's really nothing in it.
It must have been hell explaining the PlayStation 3. Oh, this one not only has more gigabyte, but it's also not backwards compatible.
Well, luckily I didn't work in retail in 2006, but late 2006. But Xbox, it was no hard drive versus hard drive. They didn't realize, hey, I might need a memory card thing in order to go on Xbox Live or something.
You needed the hard drive to play like old Xbox games.
I think you couldn't even go on Xbox Live, could you, without that?
Right, you had to have a hard drive.
Yeah, or the memory card thing. Yeah, back then. With the blades.
And then you got the silver disc tray if you got the premium version.
It's chrome.
Yeah.
It's chrome, just like the PlayStation 3. I missed mine. It's got like the chrome with the multi-color reader.
I agree with Erren though. Having one SKU is a much smarter idea, I think, in my opinion, than having two. Because
not
only that.
But it depends because people like if it's about the pricing models though.
Well, not only that, but you're not producing two types of systems, and that's going to help a lot.
But what if it's the hard drive space is different?
I think with the PS4, you're going to be able to upgrade it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can upgrade the PS3 one right now anyway if you want to.
It's price. So. It's also like the pricing wars. It's like the Wii U could do a price cut. Like they said they aren't doing one for E3, but they could announce one like in October at a Nintendo Direct or something. By the way, guys, our new system it's $250 now. You know.
Well, they said actually they're still losing money on it because of the gamepad.
But I think they said if they sell one game, they get a profit. But
I thought a lot of them losing money had to do with the weak yen. I mean, with the weak dollar, and now that the yen and
No.
Even if-
Well,
like
that
No,
was part of it, but the Wii U hardware is still being sold at a
Using-
loss.
oh
Yeah.
really?
And if they
Which
even
is
if they make a profit, they're making a much smaller margin than they did with like the Wii, because the
Yeah.
Wii was like a huge margin. Now it's like really shrunk to like, I think they said last time it was like $10-20 if
Isn't
they make
Wii U
profit.
the only console that they've launched where they don't make a profit on the system? Oh, well, okay, other than the
GameCube.
3DS.
But no, but they
Pretty
said that
much.
they just have to sell a game and they get a profit, but it's still very small. They've said that before, that Nintendo says that if they sell a game, they make a profit, but it's really, like I said, it's a really
Better than
small
selling it at a
amount.
loss.
Yeah. The hardware is all, I mean, this happens all the damn time though, is that the hardware sells at a loss, but it's the software that picks it up.
Right, so I think I think for Nintendo it's very atypical, is what I meant. Like
Yeah.
every other console sells it at a loss, significant loss, mind you.
Yeah, the
But-
PlayStation 3 was like hundreds of dollars, like so.
Yep.
But okay, so let's bring it back around. What are you guys buying? We gonna buy? I guess you don't have to worry about the Wii U. I guess are you guys gonna buy a Wii U eventually?
Maybe.
It needs more games first.
I want an Advance Wars before I decide.
I mean, it specifically needs more RPGs because right now it doesn't have very many that aren't available on other platforms.
would
And
you
I mean,
buy it for Project X?
well, I would, but who knows when that's going to come out? And by the time that game comes out, hopefully the system is actually cheaper.
If we can use
Yeah,
Xenoblade as a timeline, it will come out a year after it's announced. I mean,
it's already been
Monado.
announced.
Not here though.
It was announced as Monado, and then it came out the year after in Japan. Maybe not U.S., but for
But
Japan.
then is the Wii U still region locked? Does it matter?
Yes, it's still
Yeah,
regional.
so I guess it doesn't really
Even
matter.
after that
Yeah,
stupid
that's
hack
true.
that came out.
I don't know about you guys, but I can't read Japanese inside an RPG. It's really hard,
Neither
so
can
I can't follow that.
Erren can.
In action games, I can kind of pick it up, but yeah, Erren probably.
Well, in action fighting games, like, there's no reading, really.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I made the mistake of importing Persona 3, and that was just terrible.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
that was a mistake.
That was really
Oh.
dark. I didn't think about that at
I don't
all.
think I would ever want to import a Shin Megami Tensei game.
No, it's really bad.
No, I
Not a good
don't.
idea.
I don't think even I would import an SMT game.
A lot of text. I was like, whoa, what the?
Like,
See, I'm
at
fine with
least-
importing Tales games.
At least with Tales and, Final Fantasy, they keep some of the same terms, and there's a lot of voice acting.
Oh, yeah.
So
I got
him-
by with Namco X Bandai. That went fine. No, Namco X Bandai, was that really what it was called back then?
Yeah. Namco Cross Bandai probably.
Cross Bandai.
That's what
Wow.
Japan does.
It's crazy that now they're a
X.
company now. Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
So, was it Namco X Capcom? Oh well, whatever. That game, that came out years ago. But anyway, for the PlayStation 2. So, yeah, so,
No, not
Sorry?
the Wii U.
not the Wii U. Simon,
No.
you own one?
No, I do not own.
No,
one.
sorry,
No,
David. you own
David.
one.
Yeah, I own the Wii U already.
I was thinking David, but I said Simon, so. Okay, so
Oh,
we got
well.
that. You guys buying a PlayStation 4?
Probably. I think that's my system of choice.
I think it
Yeah.
wasn't obvious enough. We're fans
think-
of PlayStation.
Just because, the big thing for me is the Japanese support, and they've already pretty much pledged it. And if you watch the meeting conference, they showed all those different developers up there. So, the support's going to be there, and
Eventually, yeah.
Microsoft's not going to get those Japanese exclusives
Yeah.
ever again, probably. So,
We'll see
the
about-
decision is basically set. Plus, they're still probably going to have free online, and it's probably going to be region free. So,
That's the
Two more
that's
things.
For sure.
Microsoft will get bullet hell games.
Oh yeah, Cave is releasing a game on the Vita, I think, soon. So
Oh, never mind then. All
There you
right,
go.
that's gone.
Bye bye, Cave. But anyway, yes, for me, it's always been that I follow where the RPGs go, and yeah, the developers that I follow a lot are like Nisa and like
yeah,
Atlas,
and
stuff like that.
even
Should be
Level
on
5 already said they're working on a PS4 game. So
Yeah.
they're-
And
I hope it's
Axis
late.
is and Arc System Works is worth seeing. So that's where I'm going. I'm going to the PlayStation because that's where it is. But the 3DS is very interesting. That I
What about the direction?
Yeah, I think having for this next generation 3DS, a Vita, and a PS4 and a PC. I think
Exactly.
that's
that's it.
Yeah.
the best setup.
If you want RPGs, that seems to be the thing. But obviously, we still got a few
Well,
conferences.
yeah, if you
still
want
have a lot.
RPGs,
We still have yet to see how many. If there's going to be, there might be a ton of RPGs announced for the Wii U soon. So who knows? Yeah.
yeah,
I
we'll
don't
see.
think so, but
I mean,
it could be.
it's funny
Could
because
happen.
all these titles keep being announced for like PS3, but not the Wii U. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Boy jobs, really. But, okay, so, Simon, did I ask you? I don't really care, but did I ask you?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think the PS4 would be my system of choice, probably on the console side. Like, I love Microsoft and some of their IPs, but I haven't heard enough about the Durango or whatever crap it's called.
Don't want Respawn's futuristic online shooter with the.
I could give a crap. I couldn't give a crap about Respawn. I do not like.
I don't care either.
I love shooters. I do not enjoy some of the praise that
Vincent
Pella and Jason West,
that's true.
Or one of them even left. Which one of them left? Vincent Pella, or was it Jason West? One of them left. Respawn.
Pella, I think, left.
Yeah, so like I don't really care. I think they're hype. I think they do good games. I don't think they do excellent games. So I mean, I could care less.
Oh wait, no, I think it's actually it's Jason. He's got the crazy hair.
Okay, yeah, one of them left. Yeah, one of
them left, and like people, like it's so funny because like that rumor that came out about it being the next Xbox exclusive, people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be so big and blah blah blah." But ultimately it's
Somebody's in trouble.
It's an unproven IP that they're gonna be putting out, so who knows how it will do? I mean, look at what happened to Sakaguchi putting out his games with Mistwalker. Just because he made Final Fantasy didn't mean that his games were gonna like skyrocket to the heavens.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wonder why West left. That's what makes me curious.
He said it was family issues.
Yeah,
but
he said it was his family issues. I don't think he left because he thought they was going the wrong direction or something. That's personal, man.
I don't know.
Personal problems.
I just thought that was convenient. It just happened that he also had family issues at the time, so I don't know.
Fuck Microsoft, I'm going. No, I think it's that kind of issue. It kind of goes back around to saying about how Microsoft is going to rely on these to buy into these exclusive, which is, at the end of the day, we don't really, as long as the games are there, I don't care how it gets there. I just want to play some good games, so. I think it's really the same situation where, for me, I'm interested in what the next Xbox can do. I don't know if I'll buy one just because, at the end of the day, I bought a 360 at launch. Red ringed on the first day I bought it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
did I tell you about that? Yeah.
No,
I bought it home.
I didn't red ring until 2
I bought it on launch day. I bought it I rented Perfect Dark Zero, excuse me. I went, because I wouldn't buy that. I actually went home, put it in my plugged in my TV in my bedroom, started playing Perfect Dark Zero. The first tutorial mission, the door opens, and it freezes halfway open. I was like, oh my god. I didn't even know what it was at the time. I was like, something happened to my Xbox.
What did you do, Zach?
It overheated.
No. What did you, after you got the red ring, what did you
I put it in the casket and sent it out to Microsoft, and they returned it.
Oh, how long was the wait? Because that sucks.
To be fair, it was only a few days. It was Monday,
really?
I sent it out, Thursday it came back to me. So it was actually,
okay.
I was fine. But once again, I didn't know it was going to end up being like the worst fail rate in the history of video games.
You couldn't even go back to the store for that because the consoles were all sold out.
It came with like the purple sheet that told you, no, you have to return this to Microsoft. We're not going to deal with that crap. So it's like that. The 360 is the worst fail rate. The Saturn is the second, and that's like 18%. So it kind of gives you an idea.
Slim really bad?
Not as bad. Not as close.
You have to give props to Microsoft though. They recovered from that well. Like Peter Moore, when he addressed saying like, "Hey, if you're
3-year warranty."
Yeah, 3-year warranty. Like,
and then my 360
they lost
dies
a lot
on
of
the
money
anyway
doing
after the 3 years.
They lost a lot of money doing that, but I think they earned a lot of goodwill from its consumers saying like, "Hey, we're going to show support for our really faulty system."
Yeah, and I think for me at the end of the day, what it came down to is that I take a look at my 360 game collection, and what I see is a lot of games that have better releases on the PC, or like mod support, which is very important for me, or that it's multi-platform, or you get an enhanced release elsewhere, like RPGs, like Eternal Sonata and Star Ocean, all these games. Well, Star Ocean, anyway.
Only one of those.
Eternal Sonata. Even BioShock got like an enhanced release on the PS3, so it's like I don't know if I really need a Xbox system if I want to for video games. For media, maybe the next Xbox is like the best, but for PlayStation, I'm more about the video games. I'll stick with my PC if I want to enjoy media because there's a huge amount of people use a PC and I can get that. So anyway, all right. So that's now that I've talked a lot about my own needs because I like me. That right now we'll end it by saying a little bit about what's going on with the site. So right now our site has been experiencing a lot of changes. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's been going on.
It's going through puberty.
But it's gonna have some changes, and so we hope to have those we hope to have those changes go live pretty soon. That's why you guys probably haven't been seeing too many things like reviews and stuff like that, but we're working on it, and hopefully you guys will soon be able to see the benefits of that. So, just keep in mind that that's what's going on. You guys are going to see some huge things coming out of our network pretty soon to be excited about. Already, Erren's site, Nova Crystallis, has joined our network. I mean, it joined it a long time ago, but now it's become more integrated, so we hope for a lot of things about that too. Right?
Which that site also went under a redesign.
Yep. It's awesome.
Yep. And
finally.
That looks great, by the way.
Yeah, I probably went through about 3 different revisions, and it took forever. I tried to get somebody to help me implement it because it was basically they were always just designs and never actually anything that worked. And I finally was able to get this current design up and running. So I'm, as you can imagine, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, I've seen some really positive response from that. You've been seeing that as well?
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, the only thing that I saw that was kind of I guess negative about it was some people were like, well, it doesn't really say that it's Final Fantasy based, and that's actually kind of the point. I wanted to get away from that fan site look, and I wanted to make it look more professional. And
it needs more crystals, dude.
Final Fantasy's not professional, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, I wanted it to be more professional just because of the people who in the industry who actually view the site, and I think that goal was definitely achieved.
Yeah, it should be really exciting to see how the site grows from there because it seems like it kind of got...
Oh, yeah, and I think the first sign that it's been fantastic is that traffic has already increased 4 times, so it's definitely a good thing.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
I hate your site, Erren. Your site sucks.
Why don't you talk about 13 more?
Oh, God.
That train's left. Thank Lord.
Yeah, so we got that, and we got some other really exciting things that we can't wait to talk to you guys about. Just be sticking to our Twitter, and then, follow the site. We'll have those, as I said, we hope to get those changes up before E3, but no promises. We just want to make sure that we get it right and that you guys can enjoy what we've come up with. So.
Oh, Gaming Vault.
Gaming Vault also has gotten down, so soon enough you guys are going to hear what's come out of that. We're working on something there too. A lot of things happened, and so right now, just let you guys know, we'll soon have a new site up. We'll talk about it. We'll point you guys in that direction. We'll make sure that those links and stuff like that. So we'll talk more about that
next episode.
Hopefully, we'll go into E3 being able to have the entire network up and flashy. Yeah. And sparkly.
Some of us might not be alive after E3.
Bad things do happen. I mean, that weird place in Little Tokyo. It's going to be kind of dangerous. Don't go to that shopping mall. For now, we'll go ahead and sign ourselves off for now. And, thanks a lot for watching, guys.
Bye, everybody.
For our second episode. And, I'm going to end it right there. Guys, say goodbye.
Later.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.